This bottle is an American icon. You've seen it in bars from Nashville to Tokyo, in music videos, movies, and kitchen cabinets. The label is as familiar as a stop sign: Jack Daniel's Old Number 7. Ask around, and the origin story sounds simple. Jack Daniel, the scrappy Tennessee farm boy who learned whiskey making from a preacher, built a distillery and turned it into a global empire. It's neat, it's tidy, and it's not the whole truth. Behind Jack's fame was another man, one whose name was left out of the company's story for over a century. Nathan Nearest Green was a formerly enslaved master distiller, the man who taught Jack Daniel the craft, the man whose charcoal filtration method, rooted in African tradition, gave Tennessee whiskey its signature smoothness. The man whose fingerprints are all over one of the most famous spirits in the world, even if most people didn't know his name. For more than 150 years, his contribution was missing from the brand's history. But his influence never disappeared. It was there in every bottle of Old Number 7, the smoothness, the finish, the feel, all flowing from techniques he perfected long before Jack Daniel was a household name. This is the story of how Nathan Green's skill, heritage, and mentorship shaped Tennessee whiskey, how that story was buried, and how it finally came back to the surface. From slavery to master distiller, from erasure to global recognition. This is Uncle Nearest. Nathan Green was born around 1820. Historians aren't sure whether he was born in Tennessee or Maryland. The truth is lost in the gaps of history where enslaved people's lives often vanished from the written record. By the 1850s, Green was enslaved in Lynchburg, Tennessee, under a man named Landis Green. He was not sent to work the fields. Nathan had a rare skill. He was a distiller, and he was good, so good that his enslaver often hired him out to others for his expertise. One of those hirings brought him to the farm of Reverend Dan Call, a local preacher who also ran a whiskey still. Call's still was a modest setup, but under Green's hands, it became the source of some of the smoothest whiskey in the county. It was here that a teenage orphan named Jasper Newton Jack Daniel entered the picture. Reverend Call had taken in Jack, who quickly became fascinated by the distilling operation. One day, Call brought the boy to meet Nathan and said, "Uncle Nearest is the best whiskey maker I know. Learn from him." That introduction changed the trajectory of Tennessee whiskey. From then on, Jack was the student. Green was the master. He taught Jack everything: preparing the mash, managing fermentation, controlling the still, and, most importantly, the step that made his whiskey unique: filtering the spirit through sugar maple charcoal before aging. This was no random trick. In parts of West Africa, charcoal had been used for centuries to filter water and preserve food. Enslaved Africans brought this knowledge with them to America, and Nathan adapted it to whiskey making. The result was a spirit smoother than any other, a style that would come to define Tennessee whiskey itself. To understand what Nathan Green created, you have to understand the difference between bourbon and Tennessee whiskey. Bourbon must be made from at least 51% corn, aged in new charred oak barrels, distilled to no more than 160 proof, and bottled at 80 proof or higher. It can be made anywhere in the United States. There is no requirement for additional filtration before aging. Tennessee whiskey meets all those rules, but with one more step. By law, since 2013, it must be made in Tennessee and filtered through charcoal before aging. The only exception is Pritchard's, which was grandfathered in. This extra step is called the Lincoln County process. Nathan Green was practicing it in the mid-1800s, long before it had a name. The process is slow. After distillation, the clear whiskey is poured into vats filled with thick beds of sugar maple charcoal. Over days, gravity pulls the spirit through the charcoal. Harsh compounds bind to the charcoal, leaving behind a softer, more mellow whiskey. It's labor-intensive and costly, which is why many distillers skipped it. But Green understood what it did for flavor. The bite of raw whiskey was transformed into a drink with a velvety finish and subtle sweetness. When Jack Daniel decided to open his own operation, registered as Distillery No. 7, he brought Nathan Green with him as his first and only master distiller. Every drop that came out of that still was charcoal mellowed under Green's watch. Over time, this process became synonymous with Tennessee whiskey. Today, it's enshrined in state law. And while many contributed to the category's development, it was Nathan Green's hand and heritage that embedded charcoal filtration into the DNA of Tennessee whiskey. For years, the people of Lynchburg knew the truth. They knew a black man had taught Jack Daniel how to make whiskey. But outside of town, that story faded. In official company history, the preacher Dan Call became the mentor. Green became a footnote, sometimes referred to vaguely as an old slave, or omitted altogether. This wasn't unique to whiskey. Across American industry, black innovators, craftsmen, and laborers were often erased from the histories of the brands they built. Their skills and inventions were absorbed into white-led companies, their names forgotten. For more than a century, Nathan Green's legacy survived only in oral histories within his family and community. In print, he was a ghost. Jack Daniel's whiskey wasn't just shaped by Nearest Green. It was carried forward by his family. One of the most powerful reminders of this is a photograph hanging in Jack Daniel's office. In it, Jack is seated with his team of distillery workers. But look closely. Right at Jack's side sits a black man. That man was George Green, one of Nearest's sons, and a distiller in his own right. In the late 1800s, for a black man to sit prominently in a company photo, shoulder to shoulder with the boss, was nothing short of extraordinary. This wasn't just symbolism. George was part of the inner circle, continuing the very craft his father had taught Jack. George wasn't the only Green to follow in his father's footsteps. Eli Green and others joined him in the still house, and the family's connection to the brand didn't stop there. Green's grandchildren and great-grandchildren also took up roles at the distillery. In fact, as late as the 20th century, Nearest's descendants were still working at Jack Daniel's, making it one of the rare multi-generational black legacies tied to a global American brand. So when we say Nearest Green's story lives on, it isn't just in whiskey bottles, it's in bloodlines. George Green's presence in that photograph proves that the work of one man grew into a family tradition, carried through generations who helped preserve what Jack Daniel's would become. If you think stories like Nathan Green's deserve to be told truthfully and loudly, not buried in the footnotes, subscribe to Aggressive Intelligence. We uncover the history they didn't want you to know. In 2016, the New York Times ran a story revealing that Jack Daniel had learned distilling from a formerly enslaved man named Nathan Nearest Green. For most readers, it was a surprise. For author and entrepreneur Fawn Weaver, it was a challenge. Weaver traveled to Lynchburg, determined to uncover the full story. She interviewed Green's descendants, combed through archival records, and pieced together a clear picture. Green wasn't an assistant. He was the teacher, the first master distiller, and the man who gave Tennessee whiskey its character. In 2017, Weaver launched Uncle Nearest Premium Whiskey. It was the first major spirits brand to be named after an African American. Weaver built an all-female executive team and made sure every bottle told Green's story. The brand wasn't just about reclaiming history. It was about excellence. Uncle Nearest quickly became one of the most awarded whiskeys in the world, winning hundreds of accolades for its quality. Weaver also worked with Jack Daniel's parent company to ensure Green's role was formally acknowledged. In 2017, Jack Daniel's added his name and story to their tours, website, and visitor center. Uncle Nearest Premium Whiskey became more than a brand. It became a movement. Weaver created the Nearest Green Foundation, offering full scholarships to all of Green's descendants. She partnered with Jack Daniel's on the Nearest and Jack Advancement Initiative, a $5 million program to increase diversity in the whiskey industry. She launched a $50 million venture fund to support minority-owned spirits companies. The Shelbyville Distillery became a cultural landmark, a place where visitors could learn the true history of Tennessee whiskey while tasting some of the best in the business. Nathan Green's legacy wasn't just restored, it was amplified. Today, Jack Daniel's officially recognizes Nathan Nearest Green as its first master distiller. His story is told to every visitor. And Old Number 7, the label that made Jack Daniel famous, traces back to Distillery Number 7. The only master distiller that distillery ever had, Nathan Green. His work shaped the flavor, the reputation, and the identity of Tennessee whiskey. And after more than a century in the shadows, his name is finally where it belongs. From slavery to master distiller, from a ghost in whiskey history to the face of a global brand, Nathan Green didn't just teach Jack Daniel. He taught the world what Tennessee whiskey could be. If you believe in telling the stories history tried to erase, you're in the right place. Subscribe to Aggressive Intelligence. And the next time someone orders a Jack and Coke, tell them they're drinking the legacy of Nathan Green.